without getting too much into the details, Graham's character in the movie becomes a painter. He finds his inner artist.
Yeah.
And
inspired by my wife, played by Christine Woods, who is a painter, and I think, wow.
Well, if she can do it.
She can do it, I can try this too.
Sure.
Yeah.
But oddly enough, in real life,
same thing happened.
Yeah. Tell me what you've been painting.
I've been painting a lot of things. Okay, so I had a very unique, interesting year last year where we had about 4 weeks or so to I knew that the movie was going to happen.
Right.
And then we shot for 5-ish weeks, right? Ish, something like that. 3.5, something like that. Yeah. And then I had like a month off, and I was doing another film, and so I wasn't auditioning, and I didn't really have anything to do, and it was July, and so I was just like the Olympics were just beginning, and I was sitting in my underwear and in my house, and I wasn't auditioning, and I couldn't really. What do I do with my time?
As one does.
As one do, because I couldn't. I had something else to do in like a month, and so I went and bought some watercolor paints to treat myself, because I was like, you know what? I played a painter in that movie. I'm just gonna see this and see what happens. And
I'm not a real painter, but I played one on TV.
But I played one on TV. Well, Kesey kept putting stuff up in front of me, and I was like, I can kind of do that.
Kesey Morgan, our production designer and art department for Better Off Zed.
Yeah, and she was lovely, and she was painting fun stuff, or she had stuff that had already been painted or whatever, and then I was kind of like fake doodling with the paints, and I was like, wow, this is cool. I think I could try this too. So I did that, and I started posting them on Facebook, and it's been a really interesting, great
and so now you have like
journey.
A gallery show.
I have there's a gallery in West LA. It's called Hussar Fine Art, and they put up 9 pieces of mine, and I've probably sold since July of August of last year-ish, right? I've probably sold about 50 pieces of art.
Amazing. Yeah. And I have to tell you, amazing talent.
Thank you.
I started seeing this stuff that you were putting out, and I was like, oh my God, I want to buy one of these things. They're kind of amazing.
Well, it's because of this movie. I mean, it really is, and it's been an amazing exercise in inspiration and execution and control and.
So working in Hollywood, and we do all sorts of different things, projects from kind of A-level type stuff that we're part of on a periphery to, micro budget stuff that we do that are really projects of passion.
Yeah.
So the story is here that Graham and I have known each other for years, but I hadn't talked to him for years and years. And I was talking about, I was at a restaurant down in Hollywood at Tender Greens, and I was having lunch with my wife, and we were talking about who I wanted to be in the movie. And I have kind of different friends, and we were bandying about names, and I was going, who would be great is this guy named Graham Sibley. I don't think you've met him, but like I think he would bring an amazing sense to this character. And Steph was like, well, you should call him. And I was like, I haven't talked to him in years. I don't even know that he would be like, I expected Graham in his like trailer on his big movie set going
God.
Who is this? Travis? I don't even know who this is. So and then that day at that restaurant, I see you.
Yeah.
With
my friend Amelia.
Yeah. You were with this woman.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were on a date.
Yeah.
I
didn't know what it was at the time either. I was like, is this a date? Is this not a date? Yeah. Anyway.
This is one of those amorphous.
She may be watching. Hi, Amelia.
So I see you and approach you. So when you have some Wahoo person that is, from your past life approach you with like, so I have this thing. It's a micro budget thing. Whatever. What goes through your head?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, who else are you talking to? Yeah. Oh my God, no, Travis. I was like, I knew exactly. I saw you beelined. I was like, oh my God, Travis. And it was what goes through. I just think any opportunity that I get to act and tell stories is like I'm so grateful for. So it doesn't. I mean, I just feel every single time I get an opportunity or something comes along the road, and it feels what felt so good about this film was that we had done all of this stuff years previous, and that experience was good enough to, put this up again,
Right.
and like that feels good that like, it may take a while for
Right.
something to track, but
Right.
it all kind of like falls in line. And so that's what really felt great about this project was like, oh my God, I get to go revisit this other part of my life in a new way and see what else I can bring to it and all the stuff that I've done up until then.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, for me
Yeah.
it was I get excited. So much of this town is built around gatekeepers and access, and you're always kind of waiting for people to either invite you to the party or give you permission to play.
Yeah.
And when I talked to you about it, and I was like, I have this idea for this film, and I it's all completely doable, and you got like really intense, and you were like, we need to do this now.
Yes, we need to do it right now.
Like right now. And I was like, well, we don't like have a crew, and I actually don't have a budget yet, and we still need to cast it. And you were like, well, we can do all
can
that
figure it
stuff.
out.
We can do that like now. Let's set the date. And I was like, let's set the date, and it was this like an amazing amount of energy that you brought into the whole process, and filmmaking. One of the things that I like about it is it's a collaborative process.
Yeah.
Like you get energy from all the people that are coming in and helping you out. So no matter what Steven Spielberg would like to tell you that filmmakers operate in a vacuum, it's completely not true.
Yeah.
Without people like Stephen Moreno, who's the director of photography, coming in and going, yes, we can do this. Without you or Christine Woods coming in and going, yes, we can do this. And adding their energy into the...
It's a pot of... until it has its own life of its own.
Yeah, until it becomes a thing,
right.
And as the filmmaker that's kind of helming the project, you do push it in different directions. It's like steering a barge sometimes.
Yeah.
You have a best guess of where you're trying to get to down the road, and you just kind of move everybody in that direction. But honestly, without everybody's energy, without the amazing cast, without the amazing crew, it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, right.
And that's like
Well, that's a real testament to you and what you guys have done here at Butcher Bird. Like, I mean, it's a real movement thing. I mean, it's like really unique what you guys are doing and what you guys have created, and I think that's really infectious. And I think like that energy that we met each other with, and you guys had already built the barge.
Right.
Like it's years and years of barge building, and all I did was I got on the thing, and then all we need to do was just kind of kick our feet behind it to make it go a little faster.
Paddle your ass off.
So wait, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Because when you sent me the script, I think I read it like that night.
Right.
And I was like blown away. I was like, wow, this is incredible. I just thought that all of it was a really well thought through character study about a relationship, and the use of the zombie metaphor was really smart, and I thought it was really kind of today, but it was also a throwback to relationships up until now. So I thought it was this really unique balance between it. What was the process like for you
to kind of
to develop it? Yeah, the genesis of this.
It was an interesting process because for me, it came whenever I come with like story ideas. Usually they're coming from a couple of different inspiration points. For that one was I think I had just recently read I Am Legend by Tim Matheson. Actually read the story. They still haven't made a good movie about it. And
it's a short story, right?
It's a short story, yeah. And this guy is a science fiction writer from the 1950s who wrote for like The Twilight Zone and all sorts of stuff. He's an amazing writer. Yeah. And so reading this short story, which is a great short story, but in this short story is this paragraph where essentially the main character has his wife come back. And without giving anything away from Zed, I was like, oh my God, that's a whole movie. You unpack that one paragraph.
Yeah.
That's a whole kind of movie concept in itself.
Yeah.
So that's what it came from. And then at the same time, I was working at a place and going through some different stuff with like my house and different stuff where I was like working like 100 hours a week. No joke, 100 hours a week for like months at a time. And I was broken emotionally, physically, like I was broken. And I was honestly at a place where like, if the end of the world came, I don't know that I'd be too shattered about it. Like, I think that I would be like, well, we gave it a good run. You know?
This is going to be great.
But like, you know, a little sleep would be nice.
Before we die, this is going to be awesome.
This would be awesome. And so I had this genesis of an idea. And so I kind of beat out this story that had these ideas and coming from this guy's perspective. And I was like, man, if we really make this fly, because it embraces the indie mantra of how do we make two people in a single location interesting to watch?
Yeah.
And right now I had a real good grasp on this guy, but I think if we need this to be a fully developed round thing, I need her voice, right? It's this husband and wife thing. So Luis Reyes, who's a producer that we worked with on this and one of my partners at Butcherbird, he introduced me to this amazing writer, Amy Tofty, who just recently won the Nichols Fellowship for Writing from the Academy. Right? Yeah, last year. And I kind of pitched her the story. She said it sounded great. I'd read different stuff that she'd written. I understand her as a writer. I'm very weird as a director where like when I pick up a script, either it'll jump off the page and into my head where I can completely see it, or it'll be like Greek to me where I don't understand anything that you're writing.
Yeah.
And I read her script and her other scripts, and I was like, I love the way she writes. And so I gave her the story. She balanced it where it gave her a voice as well as him, because I knew my DNA was all over it.
Yeah.
So it really needed to find her.
Yeah.
And you know, we went through I think 10 drafts of the script, which for an indie micro budget thing, like for a writer to put love and effort like that into it, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And she obviously did, and I think everybody that read it went like,
it's really special.
yeah, you have a story here. It's an amazing story. Yeah. And that's what we went out with.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a real testament, I think, to you guys in your collaboration, because I think it is a really strong melding of both those ideas. And I think, you know, as I was ripping through the script and sort of dissecting it in that month previous to when we were shooting, you know, I really got down to, you know, paragraphs and sentences and periods and commas, and it is, I think it's an 85-page script.
86.
86?
Yeah.
And I think it is literally on page 43 where the transfer of power happens from Guy's, but my character's name is Guy, and his perspective, and how the apocalypse and the experience of being trapped in this house with the woman he loves is moving towards, you know, you're in his sort of perspective, and then it shifts to her perspective on page 43. Like, I mean, it's literally halfway through when things start to change, literally. Not to give anything away, but it's just a really, it's a real testament to how tight that script is.
Yeah, it was great. And when we run productions, and when we run kind of everything we do, we're masters of organization and structure, and I think to be like really creative and free and have fun on the day, the work needs to go in ahead of time. And so that planning went in from day one on the scripts, all the way through, you know, the production process, which is really important for us. And then the other thing with the script that I really liked was I personally love horror stories that, actually any story that is about one thing but's really talking about something else.
Yeah. Well, that's perfect. The zombie metaphor is perfect for that.
You know,
I mean, to have that looming in the background.
But it can be like The Incredibles, you know, the Pixar movie. Like one of my favorite scripts, because it's a story about this, but it's really a story about that. You know, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series was great because it's a great example of stories about this, but really talking about that. And that's what I feel like really makes this a layered and nuanced
So what's underneath this? What is that for you?
For me,
Why did you want to tell this story?
with the zombie apocalypse as the background.
I mean, you kind of went into your background of it, but like, what's underneath all of that? Like,
It's the truth when people really start talking to each other. When
when they have to.
When they have to.
When they have to.
And so often during relationships, especially now when everything gets kind of bounced off of this, where this becomes a roadblock between any kind of meaningful connection, in a realm, in a world that's modern day, it's, in Hollywood, but you strip all that stuff away and you make people start dealing with the person that's across the table from them, come what may from the outside world. This is real. And I think your character
forced.
even says that.
Yeah.
We don't even know that place is real.
Right.
This is real.
Yeah.
He says,
Yeah.
and that was
As
one
in
of
painting, I
one of two
Yeah.
main lines in the entire movie that he says. He says two things: "This is real, and if anything like this ever happened, I wanted it to happen with you."
Yeah, right.
I don't know if you remember those.
Oh, I know
lines.
those moments very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, totally. That was the movie. I mean, that was, and I think on some level, I think in any relationship, whether or not you are forced to deal with it, whether the apocalypse is real, obviously, or not.
Right.
You're forced to deal with. I mean, that is what relationship is like. Whether or not you're locked in the same space together or not, you essentially are, regardless, being married or even just committed to somebody. Like you're trapped in it until, and you have to process all of that stuff through it. And can we talk about Christine for a second?
I would love to talk about Christine.
Because there's no way that we could have made this movie without Christine Woods.
Yeah.
And because Christine and I had done a play the year previous, and we've been close friends for a long while. And when you guys said, it's a go, I think you were throwing around some other people's names or whatever.
Well, we'll back up the process.
Back up. Yeah.
So, I came to you and I was like, okay, it's going to be you. I want it to be you.
Yeah.
Great. Now we need to find your wife.
Yeah.
Here's the challenge. You're going to have to find her.
Yeah.
Because we don't have time for you guys to develop a relationship.
Right.
And this entire film is going to hinge on whether or not you guys have a real relationship or not. And to your credit, you were like, let's go. I got ideas. I'm going to do it. And so we were able to meet with a few of your friends. And luckily none of them told me to get lost, which was very nice.
No, of course.
And then meeting with Christine, I think we piqued her interest enough where she was like, you guys are crazy.
She also responded to the script really well too.
Yeah.
And I think she's an incredible actress and person and soul. And I think, having had a theatrical experience with her on stage, that's a whole experience. And it's not just like making a movie together and you show up and you do your thing or whatever, but like when you're in rehearsal together for a long time, when you're on stage living for weeks and weeks and weeks upon, going through different experiences, because every night's different, that was a relationship that was very, in this play, it was written by Micah Schraft. It was called Dog's House, that we did at our theater company called Iama. And that experience, really set, I think, the foundation for a strong friendship because we got to know each other so well, but also like understanding what the complexities are of an actual intimate relationship. And in the play, we weren't married, but we were thinking about it. We were living together, been together for a long time, and the relationship sort of dissolved. And it was like, so we were able to like process a lot of our own personal experience relationships together, and then also develop this and build this relationship together. And then so
your
going
years,
into Zed,
your years of relationship played out so well on the
going
screen
into
because
Zed, it was already done.
There were moments that were so funny to me where you guys would be on screen together, and you'd be in the middle of a scene. And you guys were coming from such very real places.
Yeah.
And you'd be doing something in your head about something, and you wouldn't be giving her what she wanted, and you were making her nuts, and she would like literally physically like reach over and like touch, like, you need to be paying attention to me.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit her directing you, but it was a little bit her as a person in a relationship with you that was
Who
like
knows me so well.
knows you so well that
yeah.
like she's like, here with me right now, you need to be talking to me right now. And the realness in that relationship, I don't know that you can fake that because it just jumps out.
Well, especially
at you.
on a tight schedule.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that, I mean, our first day was supposed to be an easy, fun, we're just gonna shoot some feet and whatever. Well, that didn't work out, and so we ended up shooting like a lot of really super intense stuff that first day.
Yeah.
And there's just no way that we could have done that.
Yeah.
And that stuff, I think some of that stuff's the best stuff when I saw the cut, you know, I think that's some of the stuff that really pops. And I think that's really cool. I think that's a real testament to I think it's a real testament to you too in trusting actors and trusting that what we're bringing in our instincts are valid and just letting us kind of live.
So
eventually we'll get there.
I'll drop dime on you a little bit where, well, I don't know if I can tell the story without giving away the story, but like at the very end where you're like, we need to do reshoots.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like me.
Oh, I said that?
Yeah.
What did I say?
And I was like, because you're kind of the
I
bad
didn't
guy.
like me. Yeah, I didn't like me because my character is, I mean.
And I was like,
not that I didn't like my performance, it's just I didn't like my character.
Yeah, and I was
thought
like, and because when you were in the process of it, you were just coming from such a truly organic place. That word gets thrown around a lot, but like a truly very real place where like there wasn't judgment on yourself of whether you're a good person or a bad person. It was just like how you were feeling.
Totally.
And then you watched it from an outside perspective and you were like,
that guy's a dick.
that guy's kind of a dick.
He's a fucking dick. I'm not a dick, but that's me.
That's me, yeah. He's charming, but he's kind of a dick.
He's a dick.
Yeah, so.
Well, and I don't think I could have, I think being a dick is actually really being vulnerable. And like that script is written really well. I mean, the intricacies of the character and the relationship is really tight. But I don't think I could have been able to do that without Christine.
Yeah.
And you. I mean, I think that you guys set up an environment where, you know, being a dick was, you know.
It was okay. It was safe.
But it was a safe play, yeah. You know? Yeah, anyway, so yeah, Christine Woods, she's
charming and
charming and lovely and beautiful.
And she spiked
so
you
talented.
right in the groin with an orange.
Oh,
Yeah. I'll be honest, I replay that over and over and over again.
It needs to be a meme. You need to do a meme of
Editorial
that.
just heard spiking you.
Because I jump up at the same time. I'm like, ah!
Yeah, and then
Do I hit my head on the pot there?
no,
too?
not
No,
there,
it's a different one?
but you do like come down and you're like, oh.
She nailed me.
But-
I mean, she's
but you
chucking
s-
oranges 3 feet from my nuts.
But you stayed in character, and that's the take that I used.
Good.
So there you go.
Good.
Because you were just like, oh, I gotta go for a second. I'll be right back. The pain was real.
Pain was real, and also, you know, we had to reshoot this scene of me running through a doorway with the sword.
Oh, right.
And because we had to pick that up, somehow it didn't get it, whatever. We had and I had, so I had to run through the doorway with this sword, and I really banged my wrist the first time I did it, and so then the second time I had to do it, that was rough. That was really rough. It's still kind of fucked up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's good. Or messed up.
So
we Facebook Live swear?
So here's at the end of it.
Mark Zuckerberg is like, no.
Honestly, for us, we could probably talk for hours. I know that we could. And the beers will come out and the real stories will start flowing. But listen, thank you for joining us. We're going to wrap this up right now. Facebook Live is an amazing thing. We here at Butcherbird are embracing it wholeheartedly. If you ever want to reach out to us and you need to feel like you're bring it to your organization, please come to us and we can do this very thing for you. And then also look for us. We're going to start the festival circuits this year with Better Off Zed. Be dropping a trailer real soon here next month. And keep us in mind, support your local indie movie maker. Thanks from Butcherbird Studios.
Thank you.